With mini me.
Straight in front.
Good evening, everybody. No, sir.
Hey, just according who's going to be the mountain man. Fix my pool out. She passes out, somebody will help her. She might pass out. Let's see, she needs to look around. She's going to fall down in front of. Well, you got to keep her CPR, okay? I bet she's going to do it though. I bet she makes everybody nervous, huh? Good
There's more seats up here. Or you gonna sit down?
Hey, just don't pass out because you have nobody to ask me. That's what I'm saying. You're scared already.
Okay, can I get a motion to call the meeting to order, please?
I get the motion.
Motion by Mr. Rogers. Second by Mr. Scott. All four say aye.
Aye.
Time in is 6:34. All righty, at this time, we'd like to recognize our visitors. I'd like to make an announcement that this meeting is being recorded. If I'm not talking loud enough, please let me know back to the back.
I'm not loud enough.
I'm not loud enough. Okay, the meeting is going to be recorded tonight. The visitors that we have up here at the front, Ms. Kelly Karszewski is our legal counsel, Mr. Randy Snyder, superintendent, Mr. Trent Cook, principal, and Kimberlyn Snyder, principal. Our board members, Van Brown, Jack Wedgeworth, Luther Scott, Blake Rogers, Thomas Stewart, and Mark Owen. Before we have the visitors' input, I'd like to read an open floor of agreement, announcement. The board will now hear comments from those persons who have signed up to speak. The portion of the meeting is set aside for parents, students, and community members to speak to the board about any matter of interest to them pertaining to the school program. Each person may speak for no more than 5 minutes. If there are several people wishing to speak on the same topic, board policy requires that a spokesperson represent any group of 5 or more people expressing the same view on the same topic. During this part of the meeting, the board will listen, but it's forbidden by the Texas Open Meetings Act from discussing any topic raised or making any decision unless the matter is already on the agenda of this meeting. The board reminds the speakers that the open forum is not the time or place to bring the board complaints about a particular program or a particular employee. The board has adopted specific complaint policies and specific procedures for presenting those complaints. These policies require a written complaint, administrative conferences, and a request that the item be placed on the agenda of a board meeting. Complaints about employees are heard in closed session in order to protect the person bringing the complaint and the employee. The board will not entertain complaints or criticisms about individual employees during this portion of the meeting. If I, as the presiding officer, determine that a presentation during this portion of the meeting is a complaint about an individual school employee, I will respectfully ask the person to stop speaking and to use the board's adopted policies and procedures to have the matter placed on the agenda of a future meeting so that the concern can be heard in the appropriate way. The board expects that request to be honored and that the person speaking about an employee will stop when asked. The board expects all members of the audience to behave in a polite and orderly fashion during this and all other portions of the meeting. So I have the list of the people that want to speak tonight. To start off with, Mr. Rick Seymour, if you would like to address the board, please, sir.
Good evening. My name is Rick Seymour, 390 FM 19. I'm here tonight representing the Texas Top Guns. We are a reenactment troupe portraying the late 1800s, primarily Texas Rangers era. We are the official reenactors for the Texas Rangers Hall of Fame Museum in Waco, Texas. Over the course of the summer, the district has allowed us to rebuild our 1900 chuck wagon in the school ag shop. I'd like tonight to present the board with a check of our appreciation for that. The school district has also allowed us to hold our rehearsals at the elementary school, and we are very thankful for that. And I might add that one of our members, a master gardener, Mr. James Henry, has been instrumental in working with Mrs. Snyder to set up the garden beds, the vegetable beds at the elementary school, some of which I enjoyed today at lunchtime. I'd like to present this check to the school board.
All righty. Miss Patty Brown.
I would like to take a few minutes to talk about Kim Snyder and the way she runs Neches Elementary and Junior High. Yes, she is my friend, but I think a lot of my co-workers feel she is a friend of them. Yes, she is a part of my extended family, but I also feel that my co-workers feel the same way. You see, we are a family at Neches ISD. We care about each other, we help each other, we laugh together, and we have fun together. We are proud to be employed by Neches ISD and Kim Snyder as our boss. We are not afraid of Miss Snyder. We are not scared of Miss Snyder. We are not Miss Snyder's minions, and we do not jump when she says to. All of this and more has been said about the teachers at Neches on the Change for Neches Facebook page. We look to Ms. Snyder for our leadership and guidance when it is needed. She is a great principal. I know it's hard for some of y'all to believe, but I am not the perfect teacher. I too have been called into Ms. Snyder's office and had to step out into the hall when I wasn't doing something right or needed to change something. I would like my coworkers to raise their hands if this has ever happened to you. Thank you. Does this mean she's bullying us, treating us unfair, making our jobs unbearable? No. That means she is doing her job, what you, the school board, hired her to do. She is the principal. When Jamie Miller posted on Change for Neches that we are happy at Neches, please leave us alone, their comments were, are you sure everyone's happy? It is not Ms. Snyder's job or responsibility to make sure we are happy. Her job is to make sure we are doing our job, what you hired us to do. I challenge anyone to go to any area school, go to Brookshire's, Walmart, any business, and ask, is 100% of their employees happy? I think we all know the answer to that is no. Ms. Snyder stands behind her teachers. She looks out for our safety. She will jump in front of an angry parent when they are trying to get into our room. Ms. Snyder will not let parents talk ugly or rude about her teachers or about her teachers. Ms. Snyder stands strong in her beliefs, and we respect and admire her for all this. Ms. Snyder knows how to run a school and does it very well. Change for Neches has said that we have a lot of great teachers and staff at Neches. I'll have to give them that one. I do agree. But what makes us great is Ms. Snyder. Her leadership and dedication to the students and staff is endless. When Ms. Snyder walks into a classroom, the students run to hug her. She greets them all with smiles and hugs back. She is loved by the students at Neches. She is respected by the teachers and staff. To me, that's the best of both worlds. Ms. Snyder is the type of person that will leave Saturday to come help you when a forest fire is near your house to help you move your furniture. She will let you off work when your husband has a business trip out of town so you can go. She will watch your dog for you when your husband has emergency heart surgery. She will raise money for a family that needs better transportation. She will be at your side when a loved one has passed to help in any way she can. And Ms. Snyder asks for nothing in return. This is the Ms. Snyder we know and admire, not the heartless, bullying, corrupt, evil monster that was created on the Change for Facebook page. Around the time of the school board election, it was stated on Facebook that someone's family members that worked and go to Neches deserved better than the current school board. I did take offense to this, not because my husband is on the board, but how do you get any better than a school board that will support its school administrators and teachers, make decisions for the whole school and community, not just individuals, give us raises, Christmas bonuses, build a wonderful, beautiful new elementary and junior high, and much, much more. The school board has given their time and energy to make Neches ISD what it is today, and we appreciate all of you. I am as Neches as you can get. My mother is a retired Neches first grade teacher with more than 20 years in this district. My father was on the school board, and I graduated from Neches. My husband, Van Brown's mother, graduated from Neches. His uncle served on many past school boards. And our daughter went from pre-K through 12th grade and is now also graduated from Neches. We are homeowners, we own a store, and Van served on many community boards. Our love for this community school is enormous. The reason why I say all this is there are a lot of negative people on the outside looking in, trying their best to make everyone believe that all this corruption, bullying, and neglect is really going on. Well, I'm here today to tell you that it is not. I am at the school Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 3:30, and have not seen or heard any evidence of this one-sided, made-up story that I'll be telling about Kim Snyder. Change for Neches said the community has spoken and we want Kim gone. I am in this community and I do not want her gone. I think we can all agree our one purpose for being teachers, principals, counselors, board members, coaches, lunchroom ladies, superintendents, school nurses is our love and care for children. And for someone or some group to question this is an insult to our professional integrity. Kim Snyder does not need to be removed from Neches ISD. She is a great person, an awesome principal, and Neches is blessed to have her. Thank you and Merry Christmas.
Miss Carol, would you please pronounce your last name? McGee. I didn't want to mess it up. And I
That's okay, you can mess it up, you get messed up all the time. My name is Carol Keys. I've been here 3 years, and I love Miss Snyder. I love the school. I didn't know Neches, but I have never seen a school ran this great. She's concerned about their food. She's concerned about her faculty. I work in the lunchroom. She comes in there, she makes sure that the children are eating properly. And I love this. You will see her out there. It was so funny because she decided that the kids needed to know how to cultivate them. That was amazing to me because I don't know too many principals or too many schools that you even know your principal. You don't even know your superintendent. These people, you just hear their names, you never see them, but she's always there. The children love her. We all love her. I'm going to make it short because she said plenty. But we need her. We need more like her. And then I got this to say. We send our children to her. We neglect sometimes doing what we need to do for our children. She's got to pick it up and make it better. And when a person can take time to make it better for my child, I don't think I would be in their face. I kind of think that I would thank them. Thank you.
Cheryl Lackey.
Dear Neches ISD School Board and others in attendance, many of us, the teachers and staff at Neches Elementary and Junior High, have been hesitant to speak out concerning the accusations made against our principal, Mrs. Kim Snyder. The air of uncertainty around our otherwise peaceful work environment has made us unsure of what we should say, how we should say it, and to whom it would be safe to speak with. We do not want, however, for our silence to be mistaken for support of those accusations or for those whom are making them. Regardless of how this all unfolds, we, teachers and staff, will continue to strive to maintain a strictly professional environment around our students. We ask others with influence over our students to do their part as well. We, the teachers and staff who have signed below, know the accusations against Mrs. Snyder to be either far over-exaggerated and or completely false. Most of us have worked in other districts in and around Anderson County. Many of us know firsthand the alternative work environments we have to choose from here in East Texas. Whether it be due to outside pressures or stress from within, administrators are capable of creating environments that are neither positive nor conducive to learning. Mrs. Snyder, however, does not fall into this category. Quite the contrary, she encourages the students to not just learn, but to enjoy learning, and teachers to not just teach, but to enjoy teaching. Under her leadership, students are welcomed each morning into an overwhelmingly peaceful and happy environment, and teachers are treated like professionals and are openly appreciated. There is simply no better place in our county for your children, or for us as teachers, than Neches ISD. Those of us who have worked elsewhere know this for a fact. This is a direct reflection of Mr. and Mrs. Snyder's leadership. To those who are heading up the Change for Neches Facebook page, please stop. You are hurting our students by creating frustration and uneasiness among our teachers and staff. To the Palestine Herald Press, please stop encouraging them. The operators of the Facebook page are not teachers and do not understand the stress and concern we have for the students in light of the endless demands given by the state. Furthermore, it is not the job of our local press to fan the flames of gossip, slander, and hatred in our community. Those involved do not know what a blessing it is to work under Mrs. Snyder, or how lucky they are to have her watching out for their children. The lies that have been put forth by the Change for Neches Facebook page have been taken personal. Not only are they misrepresenting our principal and district, but also us, the teachers and staff of Neches Elementary and Junior High. This is the truth, and you are most welcome to put this in print. We, the following, stand in support of Mrs. Kim Snyder: Tracy Passion, Jennifer Sparks, Becky Dixon, John Thomas, Jeanette Reagan, myself, Regina Walsh, Jamie Miller, Christy Kudelka, Ashley Radford, Rosalind Barrett, Karen Klein, Cindy Reeves, Sheila Armstrong, Patricia Brown, Jean Whitfield, Stephanie Clayton, Carol Pegues, Alvin Davis, Sonia Brown, Kelly Gunnels, Robin Kaninsky, Michelle Prater, Brianne Barnes, Tracy Herbo, Rick Seymour, Judy Taylor, Alan Duncan, Catherine Pritchard, Linda Williams, Donovan Barker, and Luella Simmons. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Brady Brownlow.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you for the job that the school board does, and I'll make this real brief. We transferred in, I had a son that graduated a few years back, I'm a freshman in Neches. And I just wanted to say that we are very honored to be a part of Neches. In the school district, I don't think there's a better school in the country, let alone this area. I want to say thank you to the amazing teachers. Mr. Cook, thank you. It all begins at the top, the leadership. We have just such a great group of teachers. But on a personal note, thank you, Kim and Randy, for everything you've done for us. Appreciate y'all.
Serena Hodge.
I'm here today mainly because I too have seen the change for Neches website and a lot of the accusations towards Ms. Snyder. And although I don't know if they're true, not true, I don't know. What I would like to see done is somebody, a third party that's in, what's the word I'm looking for? A third party that's not have anything to do with the school, to look into it, to check it out, to see what's going on. Because, if you have one accident or one incident, that's one thing. If you have two, that's another. But, there was just multiple things that need to be addressed. I would like for somebody to address it, to see if any of it's true, to look into it. That's about it.
Coach John Thomas.
Good evening. I'm a teacher here at Neches. This is my 8th year overall, and we have been busy the last year and a half. I have 3 preps, and they challenged me all. The kids are great, but my deepest honor has been as FCA sponsor. And in my time as FCA sponsor, we have traveled to Waco, Texas for Baylor football. We have traveled to the Texas Rangers FCA Day in the spring. We recently got back from the longest day I've ever had, along with some of the FCA sponsors who came with us. But our kids enjoyed it. They had a wonderful time, and some of them had never been out of Neches. We got there, and you would have thought some of them found gold when they got the Six Flags. But here's the point. The point is what do those trips all over the region mean for our leadership? What do they mean for our leadership? What do they mean for our town? What does it mean for our school? They mean 2 things. First of all, that our leaders trust us. They trust our staff. They trust the kids that go on the trip. I've been, not many other places, but the places I have been, that trust was never really shown. And that's not the case here. They trust the kids, and they more importantly trust the staff that take the kids. That's the first thing. The second thing is that our leadership loves our staff. And they love our kids, and they want to give them an opportunity to expand and get outside Neches with the productive members of society. Tonight I saw two former students of mine, at a restaurant, they were going out, and I thought, that's the goal. That's the goal of education, to raise students in a manner where you love them and you trust them. Not just on some FCA trip, but in life, where you find them later on and you say, love was a more excellent way. Love is the only way we'll get out of any of this. Loving kids and loving each other.
Mary Hartman.
I've been here since, about 3 years since I've been at Neches. My child attended Neches K through 3. I was a PTO president for a couple of years, and I think there are things that need to be addressed. I'd like to see addressed. I'd like to be, like that to be put on the next board member, next agenda meeting, to make some formal complaints myself. Thank you.
Becca Wood.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rebecca Neches.
We can't hear you back here.
Child.
We can't hear back here.
Hi, my name is Becca Wood. I grew up here. I went to school for 13 years in Neches ISD. My dad was president of the school board for many years. I am standing up for change for Neches. The reason that we are come together was not really for this particular event. It was to freedom of speech. What happened with that webpage is that other people have wrote in and said that they have been subject of abuse, neglect, and as the very least, as school board, as school, these things need to be investigated. They can't be scooped under the rug. We've had suicide. We've had other things happen here at Neches, and it's y'all's responsibility. It's your place in Neches to make sure that these kids are safe, that they're not bullied, that they're not retaliated against, that their families are not afraid to come to you. It has happened once. It has happened twice. It has happened 3 times. That would be something that I would say you have egg on your face. It is y'all's responsibility to provide these children a safe place to come and be educated. There's nepotism. It needs to be addressed. There's misappropriation of funds. It needs to be addressed. There is accusations of abuse. The T needs to come in there. The TDA needs to come in here and investigate this. If you have nothing to be afraid of, if you have nothing to be ashamed of, then come on, show us what you got. That's what Change for Neches supports. Thank you very much for your time.
Cindy Bettis.
Oh, I climbed on the wrong tree.
That's it, you got it. Jim Underwood.
Good evening, and thank you for your time.
We go.
The last time I was before this board, I was announcing my impending retirement as a teacher at Neches Junior High. That's now been about 1.5 years ago, and I came back tonight as a member of the Texas Top Guns, and Rick has already spoken to that. It would be redundant for me to add to the voices who have already spoken in support of Neches ISD and its administration, faculty. But I know a little of where I speak. I was a high school administrator, and I wish I could have been even a little bit of the quality of principal
that Kim Snyder is today. I feel that the opportunity to work in Neches ISD was the high point of my professional career, and I am very grateful for that opportunity. Thank you for hearing me.
Sean Roach.
I don't need anybody next.
I haven't rehearsed this, but I want to address the board, the staff, Kim, Randy, and the change. My son and both my daughters are dyslexic. And that is a very hard thing for me to admit. I will talk about it every day. And even though things have happened that I have not agreed with, there is no better place for my children. My son just graduated from school with almost a 3.0. He is extremely dyslexic, and all of his counselors have said that they were surprised that he graduated high school. Not only did he graduate high school, but he almost graduated with a 3.0. I have a ninth grader who is an A student, who without this program wouldn't be that A student, and she receives absolutely no modification. That was all due to the staff and the teachers. I have an 11-year-old who is also dyslexic, who also has a very hard time, and she needs extra help. And if it wasn't for the encouragement, the teachers, the staff, the board members, she would want to drop out. She hated school, and when we got her in this program, she has done wonders, and she is an AB student. I am sitting up here shaking like a leaf because I am mad as a rat that people are saying that our dyslexic students are not being taken care of. Well, I stand here, and my son stands here, who just graduated, to tell you they are taken care of. You may not understand the process, but he went through the entire process from day one. One of the only students who have been here through the process. And just so everybody knows, Kim and I don't agree on everything. Randy and I don't agree on everything. But you know what? My husband and I don't either, and I'm married.
Austin Willingham. No. Jerry Smalling.
Gerald Brown?
No, ma'am.
Who is?
He's sitting in the audience.
Where's Gerald Brown?
I'm right here.
Right there. All right, beginning of each school year, you give out a handbook.
Can't hear you.
To follow and guidelines for everyone, and we have to sign off on those rules, that we agree to follow those rules, and to our knowledge, we expect y'all to as well. Instances occurred where those things on Ms. Snyder's end and Mr. Snyder's end did not follow through, and I followed protocol and did.
I'm sorry, you're bringing up specific employees that you are complaining.
No, my question, actually, I'm not bringing up what they did. My question is, my following protocol and doing by guidelines, why Gerald Brown did not respond to me when I went in order. I went to the principal, went to the superintendent, requested to speak to the board through Gerald Brown, and was not even answered. I would like to be heard as well.
Have you gone through the complaint process?
Yes,
You
ma'am.
actually filed a level 1 complaint form through, are you a parent?
A former parent.
Okay, then that would be the F&G policy, and you file the complaint form, and then based on that complaint form, it's determined which level you start at, and then you begin the process of airing your complaint to that appropriate individual or individuals, and once you go through that process, you eventually end up at the board at level 3, and that's how you get on the agenda for an actual complaint to be heard.
What is an FNG?
It's just a coding of the district's policy. The district's policy manual is divided into different sections. Your F section pertains to students, and it's not an acronym, it doesn't really stand for anything, it's just the coding that goes with the complaint policy, and so that's what you would look for if you're trying to access the policy online. You can also obtain a copy through the superintendent's office, and for instance, sometimes what they do when they review your complaint, they determine that possibly you've already exhausted level 1 and level 2 because you've met with the principal, you've met with the superintendent, and so you might go ahead and begin the process at level 3 and come straight to the board. Whereas other times, a parent may not have started with the principal, may not have met with the superintendent, so they may direct that you begin the process at the campus level. So it all is based on what you put on your complaint form, where you begin the process. And then that way, when it does eventually get to the board has a record of not only your complaint, but also the decision that was made by the administration's rationale, so then the board has something it can review to determine whether or not it agrees or disagrees with the administration.
And what if they're stopping that process?
They would stop the process if it was untimely, or if, for instance, the policy provides that when you complain about something, you have to complain within 15 days of the event occurring. And if you complain about something that happens outside that 15 days, then sometimes that might be a reason for stopping the process. But other than that, typically, the complaint process should proceed through the levels.
But even if that were true, would the acknowledgement of the letter be required?
I think we just need you to go ahead and come into the superintendent's office, fill out your complaint, and if you feel like there's some correspondence or something that the superintendent's office needs to review to determine whether or not you have in fact complied with the process by virtue of meeting with the campus and so forth and so on, you've aired your concerns and that this might be the appropriate time to now come to the board, just attach all of that to the complaint form and then we can make that decision.
And I have to request that from Mr. Snyder or from his office?
From his office is where the complaint forms are, yes.
And then how quickly do I hear back?
Well, the policy provides that once you file the complaint, then a hearing is to be set within 10 days, either business days or school days, and so you should hear back pretty soon. And this policy, this procedure that I'm referring to is standard across the state of Texas. This is the Texas Association of School Boards recommended policy and procedure for hearing complaints, whether the complainant is an employee or whether the complainant is a grievance. So this isn't something that's unique or specific to Neches. This is the policy that you're going to find regardless of what school district. In fact, you said that you used to be in Neches, but you're now somewhere else, but wherever you are now likely has the identical policy and procedure. But what you need to do is just fill out that complaint form, and sometimes it's actually online attached to the policy, other times you just obtain it from the superintendent's office or from the principal's office, they have the copies as well, and then submit it with any attachments that you believe are relevant, and then a determination will be made where to begin in the process.
Ms. Irene Alvarez.
Good evening. My name is Irene Alvarez, and I'm here to talk about why I support a change for Neches. My children were students here at this school, and while attending, there was an incident with Ms. Snyder, where she acted very vulgar, very unprofessional.
As Mr. Brown indicated, you cannot lodge complaints against individuals here. That is not the appropriate.
I'm not lodging a complaint, I'm telling an opinion. Everyone else
That is
is.
considered a complaint, and you are not to bring complaints in the public forum context. What you can do is, as I indicated to the last speaker.
I've already done that. I've already addressed the superintendent about an incident.
If you want to follow the complaint process and complete the complaint form, then that is the appropriate method.
There was no complaint form offered to me at the time. Is this a new form that you've just made up?
No, this is a complaint form, and all of these, as I mentioned to the previous speaker.
It was not offered to me. I was never told that there was a process.
Nonetheless, tonight is not not to forum. Public forum or public opinion is not where you lodge complaints. You do that through the complaint process. If you're an employee, that's DGBA. It's online. It's a part of the Neches policies. This is not new. You have access to those, but we do not use public forum to lodge complaints.
I'm not lodging a complaint. I'm making a
If you have something
statement.
constructive to say, you are welcome to do so, but you cannot complain or make any kind of negative remarks about employees or officers.
I don't have anything positive to say. I would just like to finish my statement.
If you would like to talk to the board about general subject matters or general issues of concern that you might have.
That's what I'm
But you
doing.
cannot point the finger and complain about.
I'm not pointing a finger. I'm not
This is
pointing
not
a
the
finger.
appropriate venue for that.
In fact, someone pointed a finger in my face, which was Ms. Snyder, and that's what the incident was all
Again,
about.
just cut her off. She's gotta go.
Okay, I'm sorry, Ms. Alvarez, we cannot do that.
That hurts. That's bigger. If you're willing to follow the rules, you're welcome to speak. You can speak just as anyone else can. Nobody else has had a problem following the rules this evening. There are other speakers who've come up here and very constructively approached the board about
being constructive.
issues and about what they'd like the board to do in response to those issues, and not a single
I would
one of
like
them
the
has
board,
wanted to
I would like TEA to do an investigation to make sure that everyone is acting professional in their role as administrators. And there is no chance of that with the nepotism that exists in this district. There's no chance.
What you're talking about right now is a policy, and that's an appropriate issue for you to address at the podium for public comment without pointing the finger at any individual. Do you see? So if you have a concern regarding nepotism, you're welcome to talk to the board about that, but you can't complain about it.
I'm not complaining about it. I just wanted to make a statement, just like everyone else that was given the same right. And I'm here because I'm just as American as everybody else. My son is overseas fighting for the freedom that you and I both have.
And don't feel like you have to talk to me.
I'm not talking to random people. I'm talking to everyone in this room. My son is overseas in Afghanistan, making sure that I have the freedom of speech to live, to speak what I want to say in this country. And that goes in these four walls, it goes everywhere. In this county, I should be allowed to speak. Just like everyone else, regardless of my color, my religion, my gender, my preferences, I have the same rights that you have, that Mr. Brown has, that everyone on this board has. I have the same rights, and I'll be darned if you're going to tell me that I don't have that right, or that I have to go through some process that everyone else here came with an opinion, with a story, with something to say, and I'm not going to be given the same right. No, it's all one-sided, people. And you know that. It's all one-sided.
The right to speak is guaranteed in the policies, and it provides a specific channel, and the policies are there, as I mentioned, they're recommended by the Texas.
I was never offered a form, a process to go through. I would like the board to allow TEA to come and do an investigation of all of the allegations that have been brought forward. The allegations are not going to go away. The people are not going to go away. The people are not going to be silent. There's people all over that are reading these allegations. And between the people that those incidents happened with, the children that it affected, and the person involved, if it was Ms. Snyder or someone else or someone on the board, the truth will come out. Thank you for your time. I will go ahead and pick up the correct form that you have somehow out of thin air, you've made up a form now that people have to go through. I will pick up that, and I will go ahead and go through with a formal complaint if that's what we need to do. My incident involved Mrs. Snyder. It was handled by Mr. Snyder. And my question here tonight is, when I left after this incident was brought forward, I was told by Mr. Snyder that his wife would be written up, which sounds comical. If I had my husband write me up, that I would tell Robert Alvarez, are you nuts to write me up? I want to know if that was done. That is my concern, and I will come back to another meeting in the future to see if that was followed through. Because she, as a school employee, should be disciplined, just like any other employee working for any other
I don't want you to have
school
any
district.
false hopes, but everyone who is employed by the school district, their evaluations are confidential. We would not be able to release that information, whether orally or in writing. Those documents are confidential. So if there were any kind of write-ups of any of these educators in the room and someone requested it, whether it was a member of the press or whether it was a parent or someone from the community, Public Information Act and the Education Code specifically prevents the school district from releasing those documents.
That's fine. I don't want to look at someone's personnel file. I just want to know to make sure that everything is consistent, that she does be disciplined just like everyone else that is an employee.
Okay, I just didn't want you to have false expectations that if you come through the appropriate process, that that's information that the board would.
I will follow through. I will follow
That is
through.
not
Thank
something
you.
they're able to.
Ms. Gerald Brown.
I had this plan.
But it's true.
Good evening. My name is Gerald Elwood Brown Sr. I served on this board somewhere between 20 and 24 years. I'm not sure exactly. I served for the city. I worked for the city of Palestine for 19 years and was in administration there. Well, I'm here tonight to make a brief comment, and brief comment only. And that is that governmental entities, whether they be school boards or city councils, have to make decisions based on facts and following procedures, following laws, and that sort of thing. You cannot make decisions based on emotion. And I don't want you to be turned one way or the other based on an emotional feeling that you have for something. If a person files a complaint, files it properly, and it comes to you, then you need to act on it. You need to find out the facts and you need to act on it. And to the ladies and gentlemen that are here, if you want action taken on the complaint that you have, there's a proper procedure, there's a proper timeline that you have to follow in order to be heard by the board for that complaint. And it's a process, there's a chain of command that you go through and all of that. And that's how you do it. And I don't know whether any of these complaints are true or not. I don't know any of that. But I know this, that if you're going to get something addressed, it needs to be done properly.
Dr. Brent Morgan.
I'm sorry, I signed this in on the wrong page too.
Come on, Brent. Okay. And Dana, I guess you're talking for yourself too. Jennifer Sparks.
Good evening. I'm a teacher here at Neches, and I'm proud to be here at Neches. I first met Ms. Snyder at Palestine when she was assistant principal at Story Elementary, and we were in a UIL event together. And I just remember when I met her, she was very professional. And of course at Palestine, there's a whole lot of principals and assistant principals, but she was the most professional out of all of them that I encountered. So I taught in Palestine for 10 years, And when she called me to see if I wanted to be a part of the Neches team, I gladly accepted. Really, really eager. And of course, my husband was glad I accepted too, because he was tired of me coming home every day, just being worn out, and not a very good. I was just really glad to be in this environment because I knew her personality. Okay, I had been around her for that environment, and it was a very positive thing. So I was eager to be a part of Neches and glad that she called me to be a part of the team here. And when I came on board, she was really supportive of me and anything that I've ever wanted to do for the kids. For instance, the Destination Imagination program that I had piloted at Palestine, she allowed me to do that here with the kids, and they really enjoyed it, and we took teams to Mesquite. And then also with the robotics thing, I stay on top of everything 21st century learning as much as possible, so I can bring it here to Neches. And we are a 1A school, but I want us to be a part of all this 21st century learning. And the kids now, we have robotics kids. Thanks so much to all of you, Ms. Snyder and Mr. Snyder and the board, for allowing us to purchase the kids for the robotics program. And they're doing really well with that. The first year we went, we took them, they actually won second place out of 68 teams. So they're doing really, really well with that. So Ms. Snyder supporting me and the kids with that. So that's why I'm here tonight, to support her as well. She loves all those kids. Like I said, I've been a teacher for 18 years, and so I've been in different schools, and I've seen how they can be with the kids. And she's like the most personable principal I have ever worked for in my life. On Thanksgiving, she gets behind in the cafeteria, and she serves. She serves the adults. She serves the kids, and she just jumps right in and just does it. I mean, she's kind of that top person that goes, "What do you need me to do?" For instance, last October, my husband became really ill and was in and out of the hospital for 2 months. We thought he had severe heart problems. He had heart cath. Every test known in the book was actually done on him. I could just cry right now, but anyway, thank the Lord for prayers, and I know that she's a praying person. And I know he's here today because God did answer those prayers. And she allowed me to be there for him. She told me, I'm sorry, family is first. But you know what? This is my family too. And even though I had to be there for him, I really missed all of him. But you know what she said? And I had text. She, out of everybody that was texting me and asking me how he was doing, I would call. Nobody. Nobody, and even, I hate to say this, but we do have a church family too. But out of everybody, she was the one that would ask, "What can I do for you? Can I go to the grocery store for you? Can I run his route for you?" Because we have a business, and she knew, she just, things like that. "Can I take care of your dogs?" She knew me personally enough to ask me those things and what I needed done. She's been in those predicaments as well, and you have been in those predicaments as well. You feel how those people feel. You know what they need. And I just wanted to say that she backs us 100%. She does. My aunt is also a principal at Huntington ISD, so I'm pretty close to understanding why you have to make some decisions sometimes, the way that you have to make them. My husband owns a business. He's a boss. He has people, too, that work underneath him. Sometimes you have to be stern. You just do. But I totally respect people like that. They are leaders. Tried and true. Tried and true. And that's all I have to say.
Neches.
Hi, my name is Nancy Cashin. Hello to those behind me as well. I am the 5th grade math, science, and social studies teacher. I live 30 minutes away and actually live a mile and a half from an elementary school. I was here 2 years ago and I left after a year because I wanted to be close to home. That just happened to be a district that TEA is set up in, ladies and gentlemen. Ms. Alvarez and Ms. Wood and others get clapped. My principal, I did not have direct communication with her because TEA was involved. Everything that had to be said to my principal had to be said for an email because there had to be a paper trail. In TEA districts, paperwork takes priority over pupils. And I really believe that if the people that were pushing for TEA knew what TEA would do to their children's education, to the teachers that they speak so fondly of, I really believe that they would quit calling for that Tea Party. When I was here 2 years ago, I woke up one morning with high fever. And it happened to be a Tuesday morning. So I have 3 children that are in the school, very smart, very intelligent children. Not just saying that because they're mine. They truly are intelligent. They blow me away with the things that they know. But anyway, I woke up sick, and Miss Snyder said, "You need to go home." I said, "No, it's 8:30 on a Tuesday. My kids are going to miss everything for the week, and I'm taking spelling tests on Friday and math quizzes on Friday." And she said, "You go home and sleep. I will bring your kids home for you." That is the kind of principal that she is. She goes the extra mile for us, not only for us, her staff, but also her students. The students of a lot of the ones that are on that Change for Neches webpage or Facebook page. I just really challenge those that are involved in that page that you would, if you have children still in our district, which from the ones that I heard speak this evening, they do not. But if they do, they are ruining it for their children, as well as our children and all the other students that we have in our district. Thank you.
Brent Hoffman.
Good evening. My name is Brent Hoffman. If you don't mind, I'd like to turn and talk this way a little bit. I don't mean to ignore you, is that okay? And I'll turn back to you in a minute. That's all right. I'm shaking like a leaf, but it's not because I'm mad like crazy. I'm nervous as all get out. I'm going to have to overlook that if you don't mind. I'm not a seasoned speaker like some of these that have stood up here without paper, so I had to bring my paper with me because I can't remember everything I needed to say. A lot of what I wanted to say this evening has already been brought out, so I'm going to skip through here in just a minute with what I had on my mind. I've lived here in this district since 1984. We have 3 kids. All 3 have gone through this school from kindergarten through 12th grade. And the last one graduated in 2006. We've had a good experience living in this community. They received a good education, good life experiences along the way. I had the privilege of being elected by the voters of this district to serve on this school board in years past. I'm coming this evening to speak as a voice, hopefully, of common sense and try to help resolve a little bit. You can't resolve anything by dragging people through the mud, name calling, and that type of thing. That was one of the That's one of the things early on that we all learned. And if I offend you by what I say, I'm sorry. I'm not choosing sides. I'm not for, I'm not against. I'm for what is right. And most everything that has been, or a lot of things that have been said is a lot of what I was going to say. So I'm going to skip on down to what I think might be helpful. And part of this has already been mentioned too. Going through the proper channels. The people on the Change for Neches website could be a lot more productive in advancing your agenda by going through the proper channels. Well, what is the proper channels? Well, you've been told. I'm sorry, what is your name?
Kelly Krzyzewski.
Okay. Kelly, let you know what the proper channels were. And if you couldn't hear what she was saying, I'm going to try and bring that out again. If you have a complaint against an employee of this school district, you need to talk to that employee, not about that employee. Now, she didn't say that, but we're adults. We should know that by now. Talk to that employee first, whether it's a teacher, whether it's a principal, whether it's a superintendent, whoever it is, talk to them, not about them. The Change for Neches side is talking about people, and that turns people off in a hurry. You can't get anywhere talking about people. Go to them, approach them. We're all approachable. Sometimes I think I'm not. People don't talk to me, and I think my deodorant's a little bit off or something. I don't know. But we need to talk to people. If you don't get anywhere talking to that person, then you can file that complaint, and you can go to the next step, whether it's the principal or the superintendent. Now, I know you're thinking, because I've seen it on the website, well, what good is that going to do if I go from point A to point B when they're married? Well, I think we're selling point B a little short. Give him the benefit of the doubt. Don't make that decision for him. Change for Neches made decisions for me. They included me in what they say as this community. The community says, I haven't been approached by anyone from Change for Neches. Don't speak for me. I can speak for myself. And I intend to speak for myself. I don't need help in that direction. Talk to people, file the complaints like you need to, and take it up. If you don't get anywhere on the first round, go to the second one and go all the way to the school board. Do it like you're supposed to. I would not have known this either until I started on the board. They don't have to offer you this sheet to fill out. It's up to you to do that. If you truly have a complaint, then you need to dig into it and see what you have to do to carry it forward. It's your responsibility. It's not their responsibility. They may not even know that you're complaining against them because you won't talk to them. Talk to them. You have to talk. You have to communicate to people. That's the way it is. We can't do it otherwise. Instead of airing out our problems on social media, we should go to the source and work the chain of command. I'm going to turn back around just a minute, if you don't mind. To the board, I would like to say thank you. I've said in your seat before, you receive no monetary compensation for your service, and it's times like this that you wonder why you wanted to be a board member. You're sitting there right now asking yourself, what can I get into? When you see all these faces staring at you, I know, I've been there. There are people in our community who support you and thank you for the thankless job that you have accepted as a board member of our school district. We do understand that you do have the best interest of our children at heart. The time that I spent serving on the school board here at Neches, I learned a lot about school business. I learned that you do not get elected because you or a group of people wanting you to get on the board have a personal agenda or a grudge against people employed by the school district. I learned that you're one person. The board operates as a team, not on individual efforts. You speak your opinion. You make decisions based on what is factual and based just what on the best interest of this school district, including students, faculty, staff, and administration. I learned that the local school board has a very small amount of control over policies made within the district because the majority of policies are mandated from the state of Texas, even though they're called local policies. I learned while you're serving on the school board that your personal fan club will get smaller and your mailbox will get bashed. But that does come with the territory. To the change for Neches folks, you need to understand one thing, that by downing and speaking bad of the school board as you have publicly, you have placed an extra amount of stress upon them because now they have to weed through all the hard feelings that you brought upon them and try to make decisions fairly. You're not thinking through the process is what's not fair. You try sitting in the seats up here one of these days and see how it works out. We've got a very good faculty here, staff, administration at our school, and they have the best interest of your children at heart. You may not always agree with how they handle situations, but I'm sure they don't always agree with how you handle situations either. We are all different people. I encourage the Change for Nature's site to get off of Facebook and spend that time you're putting in with your children. They need you. You as parents are their inspiration. They do need you. It's up to you to raise them. And the staff here at NISD are their icing on the cake. Thank you.
Ms. Sharon Anderson. Okay. Is there anyone else that would like to have any visitor input tonight?
I would like to speak. And I can turn this way. What I would like to say is that there's 466 members for Change for Nature. They don't all represent all of us. What goes on that Facebook page is not something that every one of us supports. We're all individuals. There's a lot of hurt feelings. There's a lot of people that feel that they have been abused, neglected. We never said that there wasn't some wonderful staff in this school. I have friends in this school, and I hope they're still my friends. I have no animosity. I stand up for a change. A change. All I'm asking for is that all those letters that we have received, by accident, folks, by accident, we didn't ask those people to write us. We never once said, hey, we want to trash Neches. I love Neches. I grew up in Neches. Neches was my home. Neches is still the home to my cousins, my family, and all of us here. We love you. We're just saying, if there's any validity to any of those abuse stories, there needs to be an investigation in the story.
Thank you very much. I declare a quorum is present of the board. Has everyone had a chance to look over the minutes of the previous meeting? Any questions or concerns? I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I'll take a motion.
Mr. Rogers?
Second motion.
Mr. Wedgeworth? Any discussion? All four say aye. Any opposed? All righty. November tax report, Mr. Superintendent.
We're collecting our M&O $300,000 for the month. We're sending 56% of our collection.
Any questions about the tax report? How does that sit with last year? Board members, any other questions? I'll entertain a motion to approve the November tax report.